Hi, my name's Jared Ewing. I'm a marketing director with Equis Financial. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you two illustrations on how you make money utilizing the life insurance industry. Just a quick disclaimer, we will be using some of Equis Financial's contracting grids, average premiums, but for the most case, you should be able to utilize this information with whatever brokerage marketing organization you're with. However, if you're not with a company and you're currently looking, we would encourage you to click the link at the end of this video to check out Equis Financial, or call us by using the number below in the comment section, and we'll be happy to chat with you and determine whether or not we'll be a good company for you. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first way, obviously, you can go out and make income utilizing the life insurance industry is from personal production. So we're going to talk about personal production first. Remember one thing, that distribution is what the carriers are looking for. So as we give you the illustrations, we'll kind of run through that with you. But in our world, the average premium for our company is about $80 to $90 every single month. So that comes out to be about $1,000 of annualized premium. So that's your monthly premium times 12. So how it works for personal production in our world is our starting agent contract is 70%, and our agent contracts go all the way up to 110%. So to give you the easiest illustration, we'll just start off with 70%. So if you're an agent, you go out and make a $1,000 sale, you times it by 70%, it comes out to be over the span of a year, you're making $700 per sale. Now, however, what most companies don't tell you, and what a lot of people just forget to mention, is that every company in the country only advances on average about 75% day one money. So if you're writing a simplified issue, which is a policy that issues within 24 to 72 hours, which we do here at Equis Financial, you should get paid the very next morning somewhere in the area of about $500 per sale day one. You will get the whole $700 over the span of a year, but that's typically, the rest of it comes in months 10 through 12. And so just want to make sure you understand what you're going to get, because at the end of the day, money in your pocket is what you're looking for. Now, the best producers I've seen in this industry can consistently write somewhere around 10 to 15 policies on a weekly basis. What you need to understand is, to get 10 to 15 policies, you need to book somewhere between 20 to 30 appointments. And your closing percentage of appointments is typically going to be somewhere around 50%. Now, I've been doing this for 9 years, and those numbers seem to be pretty darn accurate. So I would kind of live by those numbers. But to get this number, you're going to have to book this many appointments. And remember, the one thing about personally producing that you got to remember is that it's all based upon one thing: you. And so you have to go out, you have to book the 20 to 30 appointments to close the 10 to 15 appointments. Every time you do so, you're going to generate somewhere in the area of $500 at starting contract. And it, of course, moves up from there based upon performance. But it is only based upon you. Now, the one thing you have to remember is that in this world, these guys, like these carriers that we utilize here, they base all these percentages and contracts and money on one thing, which is distribution of product. So the more product you can distribute, the more money you make. And so just wanted to make sure you point that out. But just remember, on average, you're going to close about 50% of everything you said. If you wanted to be one of the best, you're going to close 10 to 15 a week. That's 20 to 30 appointments booked and running every single week. So just be aware. But this number's a good number to live by, because if you need to go out and make $2,500, just know you need to close five appointments every single week. That's $2,500, and so on and so forth, etc. So that's the first illustration of how you make money in the life insurance industry, is going out and actually personally producing. Let's show you the second way, which is going out and building your agency. So to go out and make money the second way, it's to go out and develop an agency. What you're going to do is you're going to hire a distribution channel. Remember, those carriers we talked about, these guys right here, they base everything upon distribution. So the more policies you sell, the more money you make. Now, on the producer side, our contracts are 70 to 110. On the builder side, they start off at 70 and go up to 120%. Again, it's purely based upon performance. But here's the one thing I want to point out to you first and foremost, is a lot of people really focus on these contracts. Now, the contracts only matter if you're going to be a lifelong producer. Now, if you're not going to be a lifelong producer and you want to set up a residual income, you want to set up a team income, a business built driven income, remember the one word you need to remember, and it's a key word, so we're going to go ahead and write it out. It's the word spread. The word spread is the number one most important word in the business side of this business, which is the difference between the two contracts. So we're going to show you a quick illustration on how to utilize the spread to generate a sufficient income in this world. So let's get you a new page and let's go from there. So say you got the agent that's going out there and hiring. So this is you, okay? What I'm going to do is just give you a really, really quick and simple illustration. So say you go out and you just hire just 8 people going out and writing business. So we're not going to give you a huge team. We're not telling you to go out and hire hundreds and hundreds of people. We're telling you just to hire just 8 people to start off with, okay? So just 8 people to start off with. And all we want you to do is go out and hire 8 people, just go out and selling part-time. Not full-time, just part-time. Matter of fact, so part-time that we're just saying to have them go out and write one policy every single week. So look for people just looking to make an extra, let's just say $500 every single week. So just $500 a week. Here's how it works out for you, and this is why I want to illustrate this part and make sure you understand the difference in spread. Based upon this number right here, those 8 policies, you are now doing $8,000 in premium on a weekly basis every single week with 8 people writing one policy. You have now jumped your contract up to a 90% contract. And remember, these people are all at 70% contracts because they're out going out and doing one sell. Here's how it works out where the spread makes the difference. If you went out and had 8 people making one sell, that's $8,000 in production. Now, of course, not everything is going to stay on the books or issue, so we're just going to times it by 75% and say that you have a 25% fall off. That comes out to be $6,000 in annualized premium that your 8 people as a team, this is not even including you producing, go out and do. Now, since they're at 70s, you're at 90s, the spread difference is now 20%. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 20%, put it right here, and times that 6,000 by the 20%. That comes out to be $1,200 in income earned every single week. So $1,200 in income earned every single week from 8 people making one sell. So what you've done is you've gone out there and hired a distribution channel. So you've hired a distribution channel to go out there and make sales to the end consumer. And because of it, those carriers have now paid you $1,200 in override income for 8 people making one sell every single week. Here's the fun part. If you had 12 people making one sell every single week, or I'm sorry, 8 people, you now have $1,200 in income coming in every single week. You times that by 50 weeks a year, that comes out to be a $60,000 a year income. Whether you're working part-time or full-time, that's still $60,000 a year in income just from 8 people making one sell a week. But let's give you one step further of an illustration so you truly do understand how this whole override bit works and how your agency production and building a team really starts to work for you. And that's what I want to make sure I point out. When you go out and you start going out and hiring, and we're going to go back out, we're going to give you those 8 people again, okay? So we're going to put 8 people down here again. So we'll go out there and do that. What's going to happen is you now have $8,000 in production coming from these 8 people. But what happens is you hire a person right here, like you, that decides that they want to go out and do the same thing. They want to go out and hire 8 people as well that are going out and producing just on a very part-time basis. So now there's $8,000 in production coming out of here. What has happened because of the production, right? Your production, your distribution has moved up, right? So you started moving up. Your contract now goes to a 95%. Now this person does move up to a 90% contract. And so the difference between you two is only 5%. Now that's okay, because follow along with me, because now you have 7 people who are still at a 70% contract, right? So you're following along, and that's still $7,000 in production. So we're going to get the calculator out. So you got $7,000 in production times, and we're going to keep it by 75%, right? So that's now out of the 7 people, you are now doing $5,250 in production. So $5,250 in production. If you times it now by 25%, because that's the difference between your contracts, right? So let's change this color and make sure you see that. So you're at a 95, they're at a 70. You're now timesing by 25%. You take that number and you have now generated a $1,312 income from these 7 people. Now this guy right here is doing his one sell, right? So he's doing his one sell right here, or he or she, and then got 8. Now that's 9 sales. So that's $9,000 in production. So we'll take the $9,000 in production, we'll times it by 75% because you got to remember those fall offs. That's $6,750. Okay, so you're falling, but now you just times it by 5% because that's your spread. So you get $337 in income off this person. So because remember, it's a accumulated income. It's accumulated off all the production that's in here. So that's the 5% is off all the production. So now you take the $1,312 and the $337, right? So you have now gone up to $1,649 in income based upon that person deciding they wanted to move and you adding nobody else. So if you times that $1,649 by 50, you have now gone up to $82,000 a year in income based upon one person deciding they wanted to do just what you did. So we're going to take it one step further, and this is going to be our final illustration to show you what I mean by why the agency side can become so impactful for you. So we're going to take you again. We're going to put smaller dots down here just to keep the page a little cleaner. But you went out and hired 8 people, right? And we're going to put the one person big there. And then this one person hired this one person big, but they also got their 8 people, right? So let's put the 8 people down there. And then this person decided to do the same thing and hire 8 people, right? So they went out and hired 8 people the same way. So you're following along, because what happens, here's what mysteriously happens, is you have people who are deciding that they want to be equally as motivated as the next person. They want to build a business for their family. They want to go out and control their own destiny, and they go out and do the same thing. So you're just looking for the right people to do it. But here's what I wanted to illustrate out to you, and this is the important side of it. Remember, you were at a 95%, but now what happens is because you have now hired this person's hired this person, now they got 8 people. So you got 8 sales coming from here, 8 sales coming from here, and 8 sales coming from here. You have now generated up to 100% contracts. So you're at a 100% contract. They've gone to a 95% contract, and this person is at a 90% contract. So you're following along with me, right? So now what we got to do is we got to do a little bit harder math, but this is still your $5,250 in production down here, right? So the $5,250 in production down there. This is now $5,250 in production down there, right? For this person. But here's the thing. We're not going to worry about any of this. We're just going to worry about the overall. And see, they're at 95%. That's $8,000 in production. $8,000. That's $16,000 in production coming from this organization. So now you take the $16,000, right? You times the $16,000 by 5%. So that $16,000 by 5%, that comes out to be $800. But now you get to take your $5,200 right here, you get to times that by 30% because that's the spread difference between your 100 and their 70s. Remember, they're all at 70s, right? So $5,250 times 30%, now you're up to being $1,575. See, so now what you do, right, is you take the $1,575 and the $860, right? You add that together, and that comes out to be $2,435. You times that by 50, right? That comes out to be $121,000 a year in override income from hiring part-time people making one sale every single week. So remember, at the end of the day, you got 2 ways to build your business. You can go out and do a personal production and go out and write business on your own pen, or you can go out and you can build a team, and you can generate income from the whole entire organization nationwide. The one thing that you got to remember is these guys, at the end of the day, are looking for distribution. So you can either distribute more product on a large basis or on a personal basis. But either way, every time a product's distributed, that's how income goes up. So hopefully this is a good explanation of how the business works and will make a little bit more sense to you. And again, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. But if you want to contact us, grab the phone number or click the link that pulls up onto the screen now. We'll be happy to talk to you about more about this business.